Hello everyone, welcome back to our channel. If you're new here, please subscribe. I'd really love that. If you're returning, how you doing? Before I start this video, I just want to let everyone know that this video is for educational purposes only. I'm not trying to instill fear into anyone, so I'm going to tell you the facts to the best of my ability with the information that's already out there, which can be found on the internet. So do your own research and form your own opinions, okay? So basically, there is a 100% probability that our sun, the sun, generating what they call a GMD, which is a solar storm that hits hard, hits our Earth, and the magnetic field that we have around the Earth can fry everything that is electric above the ground, including our entire grid. And that was said by Dennis Quaid. Are you scared yet? You should be, because he has shared insights on his upcoming documentary. It's titled Grid Down and Power Up, and it's highlighting the inevitability of a massive solar storm or a Carrington event, such that has occurred back in 1859, and it impacted Earth in catastrophic ways. Now, at the time, this geomagnetic disturbance devastated the then existing telegraph system, okay? And you should consider the potential magnitude of such a disaster in today's electrically dependent society, okay? Because everything that we do is electricity. Everything that we do is technology. Everything that we do is on our phones, on tablets, apps, laptops, computers, watches, everything. Even our TVs are smart. This is smart, that's smart, this smart, that's okay. Imagine what you would do now if a very large storm, it would take out not only the electricity, but all of the infrastructure. There would be no water coming out of your faucet. You could not get gas for your car. You can't go to work because the whole system is broken down. This is in hopes to bring attention to the potential catastrophe and to maybe nudge certain people into action to harden the grid against such events, whether natural or otherwise. It's something that no one wants to think about, no one likes to think about, whether from the sun, a bad actor. This is something that 100% chance it's going to happen. And we are just nowhere near prepared where we should be, right? You can be optimistic, you could be pessimistic. But given the challenges posed by the regulatory agencies and the private ownership of these power companies, we're in big, big trouble. 45 actually signed an executive order to harden our grid in order to protect ourselves against an event like this from happening. 44 tried to get that going as well, and it was stuck in regulatory agencies. If we don't do something about it now, basically all of the worst bits from the Bible are going to happen. Everything that we rely on will be gone. Do you like to shop online, get your groceries delivered? How about Amazon? How about watching the game? How about watching your favorite TV show? How about ordering whatever it is that you need to order? How about getting your prescription filled? How about making an appointment with your doctor? Hospitals, everything gone. Checking your stats for your blood work that you just had done at Quest Diagnostics, gone. Gone. The food will melt in our refrigerators. If you haven't pressure canned everything or preserved it in some way, you're going to go hungry. Okay? I'm only trying to prepare you for what is 100% possibility. This is a warning that within a year, 90% of the world's population will perish from starvation, disease, or taking themselves out in total and utter social catastrophe after this event occurs. Here's an interview. I'm going to leave the link in the description box below, okay? I implore you to watch it. In the interview, he has thoughts on American democracy, the need for balanced political discourse, advocating for education, the values that make us a nation, urging for cooler heads to prevail in every aspect. I want you to listen to it, okay? I have a clip. But the full length is in the description box below. I implore you to listen to it, okay? And I just want you to sit and I want you to think. Because this will be and could be a very, very harsh reality. All right? So take a listen. And I want you to listen to it again and again and again. All right? You guys stay safe, you stay positive, you keep prepping, and as always, ciao.
Former energy official claims an attack on an American power grid was terrorism.
The attack was the most significant incident of domestic terrorism involving the grid that has ever occurred in the U.S.
This will be the next 9/11. No. This will be the next Pearl Harbor.
As many as 90% of Americans could die.
It could literally end civilization as we know it.
You ever stop and realize how fragile all this is? Wouldn't take much to throw us right back into barbaric times. All you'd have to do would be eliminate electricity.
On August 14th, 2003, a cascade of power failures shuts down electricity in southeast Canada and across 8 northeastern states. Cities like New York are brought to a complete standstill. Hundreds of people are trapped in subway tunnels, while the traffic above becomes a nightmare of gridlock. In all, 55 million people lost power for up to 2 days. The main culprit, a sagging high-voltage power line in northern Ohio that brushed up against an overgrown tree.
We are in a very dangerous place. I just think this has to be an emergency, an urgent situation.
What would the catastrophic consequences be at a human level if you tried to live in a non-electricity world given the way we built our civilization?
On any given day, there are thousands of attempts to penetrate the networks that control systems across America's power grid, and the risks are only growing.
The real danger is that our infrastructure, in particular our electric power grids, are as vulnerable to cyber attack as the thousands upon thousands of businesses, companies, government agencies that have already been hacked over the last few months.
A massive cyber attack in 2015 left 250,000 Ukrainians without electricity. Russia hacked into their grid and cut off power.
It wiped out data at Ukrainian federal agencies. It wiped out the ability for anyone to pull money out of ATMs.
It was the first ever automated blackout tool, and a push of a button can, like a machine gun, hit all of the circuit breakers at the utility. And that's what happened. You don't build a tool like this just to use it once. You build it as a kind of repeatable attack that you can drop somewhere else and it will cause a blackout again.
John Wellinghoff was chairman of FERC, the Federal Energy Regulatory Commission, a small government agency with jurisdiction over the U.S. high-voltage transmission system. Wellinghoff commissioned a study to see if a physical attack on critical transformers could trigger cascading blackouts.
It was actually a very shocking result to us that there's a very few number of substations you need to take out in the entire United States to knock out the entire grid.
Knock out the entire grid?
That's correct.
How many would it take to knock out putting the entire country in a blackout?
Less than 20.
Metcalfe, California, 2013. Unidentified gunmen using AK-47s attacked some of the giant transformers that funnel power to Silicon Valley.
Shortly before 1 a.m., someone cut telephone cables near the substation. About a half hour later, multiple gunmen quickly fired dozens of shots at 17 transformers.
The Wall Street Journal reported that 1 minute before the police arrived, the attackers disappeared into the night. A nuclear explosion in the atmosphere above the United States could unleash a burst of invisible electrical energy that within a fraction of a second could wash over this country and overload all of our most sensitive electronic devices.
An EMP pulse is a very dangerous threat, and it's a realistic threat. If you set off a high-altitude burst EMP, every light in this hotel is going to go off, every computer is going to go off, every cell phone is going to go off.
The power of an EMP is potentially devastating, and it's an open secret among nuclear-capable countries.
We actually know that the Russians, the Chinese, the Iranians have in their war plans the first strike plan to take out our electrical power system with an EMP attack. It's not speculation. We know that.
We've listened to Kim Jong-un of North Korea threaten an EMP attack.
Famed insurer Lloyd's of London issued a comprehensive report about the risk of a major geomagnetic storm to the world's economy. Lloyd's pointed out that a Carrington-level extreme geomagnetic storm is almost inevitable in the future, and also mentioned that the duration of any outage could last up to 2 years.
This threat has now silently grown to where it is perhaps one of the largest natural disaster scenarios that the country could face, that society could face.
How we respond to the looming threat facing our grid will ultimately be judged by history.
If you are concerned about our electrical power system surviving, you need to let your legislator know how you feel. And if enough people make enough noise, we can get this through. I know we can get this done.
We, the people of the United States of America, the greatest country on earth, must demand that we have a reliable and defensible power grid so that our families can continue to thrive. Failure has never been an option. We got this, America.